We believe that the Word of God commanded the people of God in the Old Testament to gather together physically for the purpose of worship. And we believe that the Word of God in the New Testament also commands the people of God to gather together for worship. For example, in Hebrews 10:25, the Word of God is very clear that we, the church, should not forsake the gathering of ourselves together for the purpose of worship. The word church itself means a gathered assembly. So for it to be church, we need to be gathered together in obedience to God, to worship God, and that's what church is. Therefore, in obedience to God and in love for God, we believe that we must gather together for worship as He has instructed. Online church is a wonderful tool. We've used online church for some time now. And we've used it in the past for people that may be in hospital, people that are physically unable to attend the gathering of God's people, which is church. But online church is not a substitute for church. And the one and only reason for that is we must obey God. And we must gather together as a church as He's clearly instructed, and that is a gathering of God's people in person. We believe that we need to fulfill both commands, loving God and loving our neighbour. So by loving our neighbour, we believe that sharing with them or meeting their spiritual needs is the greatest act of love. Sharing the Word of God with our neighbour, which is done when we gather together as a church, is the greatest way we love our neighbour. But we also want to love our neighbour in a holistic way. So we want to love them in such a way where we care for their spiritual needs, for their emotional well-being, their mental health, and also their physical health. And we believe that gathering together as a church is a way that can fulfill all these areas. In the same way that the supermarket is able to do what they're doing, the same way that the daily press conference can gather together in a COVID-safe way, we, the Church of God, are able to gather together in such a way whereby we are loving God in obedience to Him and gathering together, and we're also loving our neighbour by meeting their spiritual needs, their emotional needs, and also guarding their physical needs. It's very important for me to note that God commands us Christians in His Word to honour, submit, and to pray for our government. As Christians, we strive to be obedient to God in this area. We have attempted other options such as petitioning our government, writing to our MPs, or to no avail. And now we have a legal option where we take the matter to the courts and have it heard by a court. We believe this is a respectful way to do things, and most importantly, a legal way to do things. We're not here to be vindicative or dishonouring towards the government. We're just seeking to be able to practice our religion freely. And we're appealing to our government to allow us to love our God and also love our neighbour, to love our community. And we believe that this can be done. We just desire to be a blessing to the people of our community. We desire to love God and love our neighbour. We desire to meet the needs of people, to be a blessing to them in the area of their spirituality, in the area of their mental health, in the area of their emotional health. And we are appealing to the government to allow us to gather together as a church so we are able to love God and our neighbour.